Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hi, this is Krishnan. Today I'll be dealing with the Hindu news analysis. So these are the 5 articles that we'll be seeing today. Let us directly go into the topic. So the first news article is about United Nations General Assembly's latest resolution. So in that resolution, what did they try to do? They tried to criticize Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So let us see what happened here. So when this resolution came up for voting in UNGA, that is the General Assembly, what happened? It had 141 votes in favor, that is generally the Europeans, the Western nations, NATO's allies, they all voted in favor of the resolution, that is they voted in favor of Ukraine, and 7 voted against it, that is Russia's allies, they voted against it, and 32 countries abstained from it. You guessed it right, India abstained, but generally India abstains from very polarizing issues like this, and even China also abstained. So this is very important. India abstained. So what is the name of the resolution? The name of the resolution is Just and Lasting Peace. So what did the resolution talk about? It talked about immediate cessation of hostilities. What is cessation? Means stop. Hostility means enmity, like that. So what did the resolution want? It wanted immediate cessation of hostilities. That is, all the end soon. Accountability at international court for rights violation and war crimes. So generally, it is accused. Russia is accused of war crimes and human rights violations. So the resolution is asking for accountability. See, you're doing all these wrong things. You should be held accountable for all these things. And finally, but most importantly, this resolution did not call for peace talks. Why? Because if you call for peace talks, wherever your advantageous positions are, you should leave it as it is and then come for talks. So, because Russia now has advantageous position, these Western countries did not call for peace talks. So I hope you're trying to understand what I'm trying to say, because if you come for peace talks, the status quo advantage, Russia is advancing, right? So they will stay put there. So they cannot call them for peace talks right now, because 1/5 of Ukrainian territory is under Russian control. So let's see who supported Russia. Belarus. Belarus is like a Russian supporter only. Like even Belarus president is like a dictator. No freedom of speech, no freedom of press, things like that. It is an autocratic country. So this Belarus president is supporting Putin. So he's telling in the resolution, the Western countries have used the word invasion. So here Belarus is telling change it to special military operation. This is not invasion. This is special military operation, like that is telling. And what next is telling? No immediate dialogue. So even countries supporting Russia, they do not want immediate dialogue. So what is happening? Military stalemate in Ukraine. So both the countries are fighting and there is no end in sight. Increasing casualty, civilians are dying. And sanctions, there is international Western sanction on Russia, and nothing is working. Why it is not working, we'll see. Because people, countries like India are not following the Western sanctions. See what India is doing. So role of India. So Western countries are expecting India to take a stand. Why they are expecting India to take a stand is because India is a democratic country. So if a democratic country like India takes a stand against Russia, it will be like a very huge moral pressure on Russia. So Western countries are expecting India to take a stand. But India being a huge democratic country, it is supporting Russia. At least not directly. It is not taking a stand. So if a democratic country like India is not taking a stand, it does not send a good message, right? So they're expecting India to take a stand. So, but one thing is India abstained. But what it shows is it shows strategic autonomy. We have already discussed what strategic autonomy is. So if a country is able to take its foreign affairs decision on its own without any other country, then it is called strategic autonomy. So in spite of Western countries pressurizing India to take a stand, India abstained. So this shows strategic autonomy. So this shows India has the guts to overcome Western country pressure. But why did India take this decision? Because traditionally Russia, Moscow has been a good friend in times of war. They have helped us. You know what happened during the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. So it was Russia that helped us, and we've always relied on Russian vetoes on a lot of things. So they are telling we will not take a stand against Russia. So but what is India's stand? India is telling diplomacy and dialogue are the only way forward. So you do diplomacy. So they're telling you do diplomacy, and through the diplomacy and dialogue, you go forward. Don't fight like that. Like that they are telling. And next thing is India is telling only if you are neutral we can meditate. I'm sorry, mediate. So India is telling if we take a stand or if you go against Russia, then we lose neutrality. If we lose neutrality, we cannot mediate. Like that, India is telling. So why India is rejecting Western sanctions? Because we need fuel and fertilizer from Russia, right? If we do not use if we do not get fuel and fertilizer from Russia, what will happen? Our inflation prices will go up. We'll have fuel shortage, fertilizer shortage. So India is not accepting Western sanctions on Russia, and it is a unilateral sanction. India was not even consulted about the sanctions, so India is not following it. So, but what world countries are asking? See, already Modi said this is not an era of war. But what Russia is doing, it is invading a smaller sovereign country. So the Western countries are asking, is this a principled stand? Like India is such a huge democratic country, but are you taking a principled stand? A big country is attacking a small country. You're not even telling anything. So like they are now questioning if India values basic universal principles like sovereignty, that is a country's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Are you even aware of all these things? Will you even stand up for these things? Like that, Western countries are asking. So, in this article, what we should look at is at one end, we are able to take strategic autonomy. So, we are not pressurized into submission by others. But on the other hand, war is a wrong thing. A lot of civilians are getting killed. For that, also, we are not telling anything. So, if we are like this, will other countries respect us? So these are the two things that we should look into when we are seeing this issue. Let us now move on to the next article. This article is about the author telling us that there are domestic frameworks for challenges, but he's arguing that to counter this cyber security attacks, what we must have is a larger global framework. So let's see how is putting forward his case. So why is it in news? Because right now we have G20 summit and India has the presidentship for it. So experts feel this is the right time for India to develop a domestic as well as a global framework. Even our domestic framework is not that good. So experts are feeling this is the right time to use the G20 platform and develop both domestic and global framework for cybersecurity. So this is what this article is going to be about. So why is this important? Because every now and then we are having cyber attacks. So what happened recently? IMS database was attacked, and what happened? 40 million health records were compromised. That is, they took the health records of 40 million patients and they asked money for it. Only if you give money, we'll give all your data back. So that is called ransomware. So they're asking for ransom. That is ransomware. So, and what happened? There's another ransomware gang called Black Cat. So what they did, they breached Solar Industries Limited's database. So who are these Solar Industries? They are people who work with Ministry of Defense. So one of their firms was attacked by this ransomware gang called Black Cat. So, and this is very important because these people only supply ammunition and explosives to Ministry of Defense. And what they did, they extracted close to 2 terabyte of data. 2 terabyte of data they have taken from this Solar Industries Limited. So it might have very serious repercussions, right? Because they'll have data of Ministry of Defense also. So all these things are happening regularly. So they're telling, keeping all this in mind, we should have a cyber attack, cyber security framework, which will cover our both domestic and international needs. So what is ransomware? I told you already. It is a they'll withhold your data. If you give money, they'll give it back. So that is ransomware. So what is very shocking is 75% of Indian organizations have been victims of this ransomware attacks, and each time they were breached, each breach costed them 35 crore rupees. So every time a breach happens, how much damage it is causing? It is costing damage up to rupees 35 crores. So it is becoming that dangerous. So why is this digital realm becoming very important? Is because line between physical and digital realms are becoming blurred. That is, these days there is not much difference between digital and physical realm. So mostly everything has been brought into this digital realm, right? So it is high time that we focus on all this digital infrastructure. And what is happening? Our critical infrastructure, transportation, power, banking systems, they've all been changed into digital, right? It is no longer physical. So what they're telling, so these these are like inevitable to run our inevitable in running our country, right? So what will happen if these things are attacked? It will be disastrous. So these infrastructures, they are vulnerable to attack by both state and non-state actors. Who are state actors? Let's say China, Pakistan. They also can attack, and non-state actors can also attack. Islamic State or Lashkar-e-Taiba or Maoists. These people also can attack all this critical infrastructure. So what we've seen is, even in Ukraine, cyber attacks played a huge role, because this warheads and all these days, right? They have electronic systems and these radars, communication devices. What happened? All these things were hacked, and GPS jamming was used. So what will happen? Because why GPS is important? With GPS only, all the assets will be attacked, right? If GPS is jammed, the missile cannot hit the place directly, and radars and communication devices, if they are hacked, what will happen? They cannot communicate effectively. So even in the Ukraine war, we are seeing how cyber security plays an important role. So in this regard, what happened is, certain, right? They'll only deal with cyber breaches, cyber attacks in India. So what has happened? They have released the guidelines, telling people what they should do if they are subjected to cyber attack. So it is mandatory. What they should do? They should report cyber attack incidents to certain. As soon as they know that they have been attacked, they should go and report. Next, what they're telling, all companies should have points person with domain knowledge. So as soon as they are attacked, this person should go and talk to certain and tell how they have been attacked, what are the informations that they have taken. So this point person should be appointed. So that is one thing they are telling. And we have something, sometime back we came up with digital personal protection bill. So in this, they are telling 500 crore will be the penalty if someone is trying to breach someone's data. How much fine they should pay? It is 500 crores. So also Indian Army has something called Defense Cyber Agency. This is very important, because what they can do, they can be both offensive and defensive. That is, they can go and attack other countries. They can do cyber attack on other countries, and if we are subjected to cyber attack, they can defend it. So modern warfare has changed to this stage. So now you do not need missiles. They are also needed, but not at the massive level. If you go and do cyber attack, your country will come to a standstill. But what are the problems in India? We do not even have tools to identify cyber attacks. So let's say our systems are vulnerable or susceptible, they can be attacked anytime. We do not even have tools to diagnose them, and even after being attacked, we will not know if you have been attacked or not. So that problem is there. And next thing, we have scarcity of cyber security officials. In India, we have only 3 lakh people with cyber security knowledge, but compare it with the USA, there are 12 lakh people who have knowledge with regard to cyber security. And private security participation, they are not participating in these areas. Cyber security, they are not giving much emphasis, and there is not greater enthusiasm from their side to come and participate in with government and take it to the next stage. So what they should do is, there's something called as Digital Geneva Convention. So 30 global companies, they came together and said certain things, that is, they will protect users and consumers from cyber breaches. So 30 global companies, through Digital Geneva Convention, they are telling all this. And what they are telling, will collaborate with like-minded intergovernmental and state frameworks. So we are telling, we will collaborate with governments, government organizations, NGOs, and other government agencies. Will collaborate with them, and whatever improvement we can do with regard to cyber security, we'll do. Like that, these people are telling, that is, the 30 global companies are telling this. So where was this told? This is the Digital Geneva Convention. So here what they are telling is, see, 5G has come, quantum computing has come, uh, and potency means the however how dangerous they are. This software, that danger, it has increased multiple times. So all these things have increased. So what will happen? Digital breaches also will increase with technological advancement. People trying to attack others' cyber security systems, it will increase only. So, so the author is telling what we should do. First thing is, we should go global, because cyber attacks, they are not coming from your country. India is being attacked. Who is attacking? People from China or Pakistan only are attacking. So we need to have a global approach. So that they are telling. So from beyond borders only. So we need to go global. So we need international cooperation. So if you are not doing this, what will happen? Cybercrime, in the next few years, how much damage it is expected to cause? $8 trillion worldwide. If you do not give enough importance to cybersecurity, what will happen? $8 trillion damage is going to be there for MNCs, government, so on and so forth. But what we are doing is, India has individual treaties with countries, UK, USA, Germany, with a lot of countries we have individual treaties, and we are also member of Quad, I2, U2. But what we are doing is, we need global approach. This is with two countries you are having, with one country. In Quad there are just four countries. That will not help. We need a pan global approach. So what we should do first, we should enhance cooperation in cyber incident responses. Next, we need technology collaboration. Next, individual agencies, institutions should have increased capacity. And if we are attacked, there should be resilience. So improvement in cyber resilience. But but what has happened so far? There has been no global framework yet. So this is a problem. So what the UN has done, so in the information and communication technology side, what UN has done, so Russia has established open-ended working program. USA has something called as group of governmental experts. So these are the two committees in UN which works towards securing cyber data. So even though one is by Russia and one is by US, they differ in many areas. So obviously, but what where are they differing? They are differing in how open the internet should be, and restrictions on data flow. That is, if they can go from one country to another, or all the data will be stored in one country. They have disagreements over that, and they have problems even with digital sovereignty. But what we should know is, at the initially they might it might seem they are opposing one another, but they are not mutually exclusive. They are complementary only. So, so what the author is telling is telling, make use of G20. So 20 countries are gonna come. So you frame a comprehensive law that governs both domestic and international concerns. So he's telling these are all the problems, and see, already certain institutes are there. So you come up with something which will address both domestic and international problem. So this is what this article is about. I hope you understood. So let us move on to the next article. So what has happened is a petition was filed in the Supreme Court telling states should give menstrual pain leave for students and working women. So if if girls are having menstrual pain, they can get leave from schools and colleges or even from offices. So, but what the Supreme Court is telling is there are a lot of dimensions to it. There is biological dimension, there is societal dimension. So there are a lot of dimensions to this issue. So what they are telling is we will not look into it. Let the Ministry of Women and Child Development look into this, and they're telling you see if you give like this extra leave and all for women, what it might do is it might disincentive, means people might hesitate to hire women because already you are going to have a lot of holidays. Again, for this also, if you are going to take holiday, we cannot run businesses like that. Employees might say, and they might not hire women. So this issue is there. So this is what you are telling may act as a deterrent to hire women. So they are telling you take this matter to Ministry of Women and Child Development. But what you should know is already Bihar and Kerala, they give menstrual pain leave to women. So this is already there. And one more thing is Maternity Benefit Act 1961, Section 14, it already has provisions for all this menstrual pain leave. So and it even talks about appointment of inspectors to exercise their functions under this law. So inspectors can go and check if all these provisions are implemented properly in workplace. So this is what it is. So but what they are telling is this might become a deterrent to hire women, because you see already in this maternity benefit act 24 months paid leave is there for women. So that is also there. Again, if you are giving this also, this is a good thing only. This is a very progressive move. But what will happen, few employers, they'll think if you hire women, we should always keep giving them leave, so let us not hire them itself. Like that they might think, and they might not hire women at all. So it's just there are just two sides to this proposal. So this might disincentivize women. So they are telling you the Ministry of Women and Child Development only should look into this, and it should come with a comprehensive policy. But already we are saying Bihar and Kerala, it already has this. So not just that, many countries, UK, China, Taiwan, Spain, Zambia, Indonesia, they all have this. So they are telling you come up with a comprehensive policy with regard to this. So already we've seen in Maternity Benefit Act Section 14, it already has this provision. But what sadly is, not just inspectors are not just hired. I mean, even the post has not been created. Only if you create the post, you can appoint inspectors, right? But under the Maternity Benefit Act, this post itself has not been created. So only then you can appoint inspectors and they can go and check offices, but the post itself has not been created. So what you should know is under the Maternity Benefit Act, what is the section? Section 14. So the section 14 already has this, deals with all these things. That is the menstrual pain leave, but it is not being implemented. So you have this in mind. So let us move on to the next article. So the next article is about Manrega scheme. So you all know what is Manrega scheme is. We have seen it in depth in previous videos itself. So I'll just directly explain what National Mobile Monitoring System is. So why is it in news? Because the government has made this National Mobile Monitoring System mandatory. So which means if you're working for Manrega, your attendance should be captured through this National Mobile Monitoring System. So this is a mobile application. So if your work, your attendance, that is you have come for the day's work, that will be entered through this National Mobile Monitoring System only. So how long has it been? How long has it been since it has been made mandatory? It has been only 55 days. So what they are telling is close to 40% of gram panchayats do not report digital attendance. So, but already it has been made mandatory. But 40% gram panchayats do not report digital attendance. So this is what Ministry of Rural Development is also saying. 41.3% of the gram panchayat report no NMMS device usage. That is, they are not having it. So gram panchayats, they will not have it, right? So what will happen? Because of technology, this Manrega work is not going properly. So you see this this National Mobile Monitoring System, it is reported only in 1,58,000 villages out of the total 2,69 gram panchayats. So only 1,58 gram panchayats are using it out of 2,69,000 gram panchayats. And you see here a total of 3,83,421 mates have registered with NMM, National Mobile Monitoring System. Who are mates? They are supervisors. So they'll just see who has come, what work they should do. They'll just monitor. They'll just monitor. So they are supervisors. They are also like workers only. They are also like other workers only. They'll be like extra skilled. They are more skilled, semi-skilled people. So these people will have this NMMS device, and they'll enter the data. But so far, only 99,000 registered devices have been used to record the attendance. So there are 3,83,000 mates, but only 99,687 devices have been used to register attendance. So which is only 25%. So this is only 25% of this. So things are not adding up. So it is not effective. It is not efficient. So what ministry officials are telling, no, this data is not right. They're telling 85% of Manrega worksite currently use the mobile monitoring system app to collect data. And what they are doing, we have given exemption for 10% of work sites because if you are using this mobile data, right, you need phone, you need internet connection, so on and so forth. So what officials are telling, for 10% work sites, we have given exemptions because you might go to hilly areas, you might go to far off areas. There you will not have internet connection, right? So 10% work sites have been given exemption. But what critics are telling this technology is slowing down the program, and what they'll do, eventually Manrega scheme will be abolished. That is why they are using this technology, like that critics are telling. And they're telling all the changes that they are doing in Manrega, they are doing without any consultation with stakeholders. They're telling you consult with the stakeholders, and whatever change you want to do, you do, but you're not doing it because Manrega itself is a result of people's movement. So right to work, people fought for it and they got it, but now you're making a lot of changes, but you're not asking people's consultations. So this is the problem. But government officials are telling this mobile monitoring system will counter corruption because Manrega scheme involves money distribution. What will happen? Officials will get bribe from the workers. So they're telling if you use the mobile monitoring system, we can counter corruption and we can also do better monitoring of the schemes. So this is what they are trying to do with the National Mobile Monitoring System. So let us move on to the next article. The next article is about the Secretary of Environment Ministry talking about adaptation and mitigation. So what she's telling? She's telling we should focus on adaptation and not mitigation. So this is very important. This might as well become a prelims question. So what is adaptation? Adaptation means assisting countries that are most vulnerable to the effects of climate change. So what are most vulnerable countries? Island countries, coastal areas, those are most vulnerable, right? So how do you assist them? You give them funds, you give them green technology. So that is called adaptation. So things are going to change. For that, you are going to help them adapt. So that is adaptation. What is mitigation? Mitigation is reducing what? Reducing carbon emissions. So what the secretary is telling is you focus on adaptation, because adaptation will only ensure that people who are affected by climate change are some sort of livelihood or to go on with their life. Adaptation only will help, mitigation will not help. So that is what she's telling, focus on adaptation. But right now focus is only on mitigation. But what she's telling is adaptation only is at the heart of equity and climate justice, because adaptation only will directly help people who have been victims of climate change. But what are the problems you will have? You will have problems with regard to financing it. Who's going to finance it? For adaptation, you need a lot of infrastructure projects, green technologies, and things like that, right? But who will finance it? Nobody will. I mean, people will finance it, but there will be a lot of issues like how much should one give, what are the technology transfers that should happen. So there are a lot of issues that will go on. So and there is loss and damage because of climate change. So for that also there is no proper dialogue and a lot of politics going on in these areas, and there is no consensus. So this is what we know that to fund loss and damage, we need $500 billion. So because of climate change, there are going to be loss and damage of what? Of life and property. So we need $500 billion, but there is no consensus on how this will be funded. Who's gonna fund? How much should each give? Should developed countries give more? There is no consensus on these things. And next thing is they're talking about Dubai Conference of Parties. In this, there's a word called global stock take. So what is global stock take is signatories of the climate treaties. They should tell the world that what is their nationally determined target, how much they have fulfilled it, and what is the gap, and what are they going to in the future, what are they going to do to close the gap. So this is what global stock take. So global stock take means a country will tell 100 gigawatts I'll do this, and I fell short of 5 gigawatts, I'll do this to overcome this. So like that they should tell what are their emissions, what are they going to do, those things they should tell. So this is only global stock take. So so what the article is telling is technical phase of global stock take. So technically what we should do to calculate global stock take, that we have decided. But politically, who should do what, how much should one reduce, that and all it is left to politicians. They should only talk and come to a conclusion, and there is, as usual, there is no consensus on it. So this is what this article is about. So let us move on to practice questions. So the term global stock take is related to what we just saw. It is related to environmental issues. So national mobile monitoring system, sometimes seen in news, is related to monitoring terrorists through their mobiles. No. Mandrix attendance, yes. Other mobile linkage, no. New agency development, no. So the answer is B. So we'll see the mains practice question. What is India's preparedness with respect to cybersecurity? How can it use G20 presidency to develop a global framework in this regard? So here what you do, India's preparedness, you talk about certain, and there are a lot of organizations also in MAITI, what they have done, all those things you write. India's cybersecurity policy, that you write, and you tell why is it important, because you talk about the IMS attack, and once even Kalpakam nuclear plant was hacked. So those things you talk about, and how can it use G20 presidency. So G20 presidency, India is going to host it, so many countries are going to come to India. So there we can talk about our concerns and tell why we should have a global framework, because we should have a global framework because everything happens beyond our borders, right? So global framework is the right way to go about it. So you write all those questions. So that's it for today. If you like this, you can like, comment, and you can share it among your friends. So you can also follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, and Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again. Bye.